All right, everybody. It's November 9th, 2021. We're going to have one more Facebook Live after this. And today we're talking about conferences and seminars, and also how you can save on your taxes in 2022. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to discuss, going to these is usually a great opportunity to learn about new trends in the industry and new products. You want to understand the format and content of each one. And so we're going to go over, what we know about these. We've been to a few of them, and we know about most of them as well. So we're just going to go over that, and hopefully you guys get some good content off of this. And as always, if you need anything, you can contact us. So currently, right now, we have the Roofing Process Conference going on today and tomorrow. So you may have missed that one, but it should be going again next year. Currently, it's in Orlando, so there's a lot of people in the industry that are out there right now. With the cold, it's a great way to get away. The next one going to be happening is January 13th through 15th, and that's the Growth Mastermind. That's going to be put on by Randy Brothers and his Start, Build, Grow show. And the conference is really made to educate the contractor and help them build their business in an ethical way and a sustainable way. Randy has shared his experiences and how he's had ups and downs, and how to help keep your business afloat, and also just to keep expanding it so that way you're going to keep everyone around. And so that's what this one is focused on. The next one we have is the SRC, which is the Storm Restoration Contractor Summit, which is January 21st through the 23rd. That's put on by April Hall. I hear a lot of great things. I haven't been able to go to that one yet, but I am looking forward to, in the near future, being able to go to that one. IRE, International Roofing Expo. It's actually the 135th annual. It's the oldest show in the industry. It's a lot of concentration is going to be on commercial work, but there's also residential. There's a lot of great programs they put on. You have to pay for those. The entrance fee is typically free if you have a connection with the supplier or manufacturer. But for what they have, even the free stuff, they have free seminars. It's a great show. I've gone many times, and I think that's actually probably my favorite. And they finally started getting into dealing with some stuff with storm restoration. When I first started going, there wasn't too much on storm restoration, and there was a program I went to, and the gentleman was talking about how to figure out how to make money on jobs and so forth. And I asked about that, and he says, "Oh, storm restoration isn't that big." And then I let him know how many billions annually it was in roofing, and he kind of choked for a minute. And I oftentimes have done that in the past. I'm trying to be a little more PC about everything these days, but yeah, it's a good show, a lot of great content. And even if you don't agree with everything at any of these shows, at least you'll get something out of it. It may be a different perspective, and sometimes that's what we really need, is to get those different perspectives. Next one is going to be the International Building Show. The reason this would be good is if you're trying to expand, getting into siding, windows, some other stuff, not just roofing. We know that a lot of contractors out there, they are doing GC work. They're doing everything with a storm. And so this would be a good show for that. And that's going to be February 8th through 10th. Next one is going to be, and that's in Orlando also. The SRCs in Irvington, IREs in New Orleans, January 30th through February 3rd. I've been kind of running through this a little fast, so I'm skipping some stuff, so I'll slow down. Next one is Win the Storm. We've been there. I've been there a few times. I've had booths there a couple of times. Good show overall, good content. There's, it's a hype show, so, there's a lot of, everybody's happy there typically, and there's usually some great stuff going on as well. And every year it gets bigger and bigger. Yeah. And that's going to be February 8th, or actually February 14th through 16th in Dallas, Texas. Next one for roofing is going to be the Western Roofing Expo. It's going to be September 24th through the 26th in Las Vegas. That one's a smaller one. A lot of the storm contractors don't really go there because of the fact that it's usually it was in July. It got moved off a little, so you might be better for you then. But it's typically when you're still working a lot, so it's not always has a huge amount of people go into it. Next one we have is RoofCon, and that's going to be November 6th through 8th in Orlando, Florida. Heard a lot of good things about this one as well. We haven't been there. I think last year was the first year that they had it. It might be this year. I'm not sure. I don't have all the details on RoofCon because it's a newer program out there. There's also a lot of great programs to get into as far as Grant Cardone 10X. On their websites, they don't really have any dates published. They're just selling tickets. So to me, I probably wouldn't buy a ticket if I didn't know if I could go or not. There's also, if you guys want to get into full restoration, fire water, which is a huge industry. We've heard stuff on the different shows about, insurance companies are trying to not pay for roofs. So you might want to get into doing more of that, look into that, doing fire and water losses. It's a great revenue income. You got a lot more details. So if you're great at scoping and everything, this could be for you. But there's a ton of detail as far as testing. Hey, is there asbestos? Is there mold? Is there lead? All these extra things that in roofing, we don't always have to deal with. So, but it pays very good because of that. And for you guys who are loving OMP, typically you're getting OMP on every single job because you have multiple trades underneath you. It is complicated, just to do drywall and paint, it's multiple trades. There's usually insulation also, and it is a multi-step process. So those arguments pretty much go out of the way on those. Now, as far as attending the conferences go, you really want to know which conference, like we discussed earlier, you want to know what you want to get out of the conference. If it's just the trade show to see what the new things are and get some free stuff and you're trying to get out of town, that's one thing. If you're trying to just do that, I'd go to the IRE because you're going to get the most free stuff. And if that's what you want, great. And you can still make a lot of great connections. If you're trying to learn, depends on what you're trying to learn. Growth Mastermind is going to be great. SRC, I hear great things. IRE, once again, you can go to those classes, but they're not really catered towards restoration contractors. I'm sure there is some classes for that, but you'd have to check into that. The IBS, like I said, once again, that's if you want to expand into doing other things than just roofing. When the storm, there's going to be a lot of good content classes. There's going to be stuff on the show floor and other stuff. So there's usually some really good stuff there as well. Western Roofing Expo, it's a smaller version of the IRE. Typically, it's free to get in, and it's just more about just networking. RoofCon, where it is there's classes on that as well. Now, when you go to these or any other conference, you should be prepared for long days. A lot of times the food is substandard to what we're used to. I actually did a Facebook Live on my personal at Win the Storm in Phoenix a couple years ago. I had a chicken salad and the chicken was frozen. So the next day I went to the store and got some supplies, and that's what I did to eat because we were working the booth. Usually there's a lot of good restaurants that are closed, so if you're just an attendee, that's not typically an issue, but you want to check and see what's going on. New Orleans, for Win the Storm this year, a lot of restaurants were closed. So a lot of the places that I would typically go to were not open. They were barely opening up the city again. And with COVID still having issues in some areas, you would want to check into that. You may be going to Costco or the regular store, whatever, and getting some supplies. Have some water with you and whatever, just to make sure that you're covered. Typically, there's going to be stuff at the trade show, but it may not be what you want. It's kind of like going to a football game at a kid's football game. you're not going to have the best concession stands. Some of them are better than others. It depends on what it's set up. The IRE is usually really good. Some of the other ones, it's hit or miss, and it depends on the venue as well. But I would look into bringing your own stuff. At least have some snacks and some water or whatever, or soda, whatever you like. Also, have really good, comfortable clothes and shoes. You're going to be hanging out all day, so you're going to want to make sure that you're good to go with all that. A lot of concrete walking, so stress on your feet. Make sure you've worn the shoes before they're good. Now, if you're knocking doors in those and everything all day, every day, you're not going to have an issue. But if you got some brand new, stunning shoes, you might have some issues, obviously. And then the other thing is make those contacts. Get cards for the people you want to know more about their products. Give them your information. And if you want to know more about them, give them your information, because that's their job, is to get you more information. And pick up that phone when they call you or email you or text you. Like, get back to them and say, yeah, I remember that. A lot of the things that we see in this industry and all the industries as far as trade shows go, somebody will fill out something just to fill it out because they're giving away something free, and that's fine. Don't get me wrong. Hey, we're more than willing to give you free stuff. We give away usually pens, rough chalks, all kinds of different stuff. Everybody has different stuff at these trade shows, and some of it's useful, some of it's not. The rough chalks I love because they keep your hands from getting dirty, and it keeps, you can just replace the chalk in there, and then you're good. I give them to adjusters, actually, when we're meeting them, and oh, you need a chalk, here you go. And then they remember us, and then they take care of us. If you ever do that for an adjuster, that's a great thing, to be able to have some extra stuff. Oh, I left my chalk in the truck. Oh, here's some extra, right? Those are some tools for when you're meeting adjusters on site. Included. Here's a little extra nugget. And then one of the last things is, when you're going to these, take something to record or write, do both. I typically have my iPad, I'm recording it, and I'm taking notes as well. A lot of these trade shows, conferences, they're going to have information for you, and you can fill, base information as to what's going on with that program. Some of them, each different section of it has their own, or it's an overview. Like at Win the Storm and IRE, they have a big book and everything about everything. And there's usually some place to put notes. If not, also bring your own notepad. One of the great things I use is a thing called the Rocket Book. You write notes on it, and there's an app. You take the picture with the app. It goes to the cloud wherever you want it, email, whatever, and then you can reuse it. You don't have to keep buying new books. Also, some people use their phones to take notes if you like doing that. Those are just a few tips that I have on trade shows as far as attending them. Later on next year, we will be going over tips on setting up trade shows and how to get the most out of those leads and get the most leads also. So I hope you guys all enjoyed that. As always, if you need help with your supplements or estimates, you can call me at 720-702-1938. Again, at 720-702-1938. Call or text, or you can email me at jason@furtadolaw.solutions. Also, next week, we're going to be going over a tax strategy, how you can save money. We know it's the end of the year. You may have made a killing. You may have got your EIDL money, and you got some extra funds that you would like to not pay taxes on. So we have a way to help you with that. So talk to you soon. Have a great day.